If you're doing your research on Nashville, if you're moving to Nashville, then I know you know we probably have about 700,000 people in the city of Nashville. But the city of Nashville also encompasses about 13 different counties. When someone says they're moving to the Nashville area, they may be Brentwood, Williamson County, or they may be Columbia and Maury County. Today, I'm going to share with you the top 5 wealthiest neighborhoods in Davidson County in Nashville proper. But, I got to say, I'm not sure I really agree with them. This is according to Travel City, the 5 wealthiest neighborhoods in Nashville. Now, they also consider there to be approximately 169 neighborhoods. So let's talk about it. What's neighborhoods? What is a community? Where do they even come up with these ideas and these names? But it may help you if you're thinking of moving to Nashville. See you on the other side. Hey, this is Susan Thetford with the Nashville Redefined Show. If this is your first time here, then you're in a lucky place. If you're looking to move to the Middle Tennessee area or thinking about it, then that's exactly what this show does. Every week we do new things about what it's like to eat, sleep, play, work here in the Nashville SMSA. If that's you, then I can suggest you go ahead and tap that subscribe button and also ring that bell, smash that bell. You will get a notification every single time we do a new video, and that's weekly. This week, we're talking about the 5 wealthiest communities in the Nashville area. Interested? Stick around. Okay, so if you're considering the move to Nashville, you've probably already done your research, and you know that Nashville is about a population of 700,000 in Davidson County in Nashville. But what you may not know is that there are 13 counties that actually make up the entire Nashville SMSA. So when people say they're moving to Nashville, they don't necessarily mean that they're in the city of Nashville. As a matter of fact, most people are probably in some of the outlying great towns that are around, in cities that are around Nashville. Today we're going to talk about the 5 wealthiest areas of Nashville. Neighborhoods is exactly the term they used it, according to Channelosity. Now, I will tell you, stick to the end. I'll tell you why I disagree with them in many cases. But, let's humor them. I'll show you those areas. They're really wealthy areas and phenomenal locations. But I kind of disagree with them to an extent. Now, one thing you may also know is one of the areas that you may expect to see in here, 2 areas actually, you're not going to find. Nashville is an incorporated city. Inside of Nashville, or not really, it's part of Davidson County, which is where Nashville is, but there are a couple other incorporated cities. Belmead, for example, is a city that's an incorporated city within the Davidson County Metro. So if you happen to live in Belmead, you also have your own police force, you have your own city hall, you have your own set of codes and restrictions that if you're to build or renovate or do something to your home, you may well have to go ahead and get approvals for. In addition to what you already pay in Metro taxes, in addition to what you already pay or have to deal with Metro codes. Oak Hill is another incorporated city. So is Forest Hills. And neither Oak Hill or Forest Hills have their own police forces, and they are also all 3 in Davidson County. So when this Channelosity was looking at the 5 wealthiest neighborhoods, the best I can surmise is that they're taking out those incorporated cities. For what reason, I don't know, but whatever. One thing you'll find in common with all of these top 5 areas are they are very close to the downtown area without being inside that 440 loop. Now, I've done some shows on what it looks like inside the 440. Now we're a little bit outside the 440, but not very far in any of these 5 neighborhoods. So one of the main things that makes them so desirable to people is that they are close to the downtown area, but they're a little further out. They have maybe a little bit more yards, a little less congestion possibly, closer to some of the big major shopping centers, closer to private schools of some of the top ones in the area. So there's many things that go into why these 5 neighborhoods might be the wealthiest, because if you've got whatever money you need to spend, you obviously go to the areas that have the best amenities. Makes sense. So if you're looking at the close proximity to schools, good schools, close proximity to private schools if that's what you want to be, close proximity to downtown, easy access to shopping, lots of little neighborhood parks, very close to the Percy Warner Park, which is, I think it's over 1,900 acres. That's just the Percy Warner Park. It is so many great things. It's a small-ish loop right outside the 440 loop. I'll show you each one of those neighborhoods. Happen to be sitting in one of them now, but I'm not going to ruin it for you. In order, fifth to first, I'm going to share with you the 5 neighborhoods that Channelosity says are the top wealthiest neighborhoods in town. Stick around to the end. I'll tell you why I think maybe 1 or 2 of those are a little off base, but the most important information is what I've got to share with you at the end, so stick around. Coming in at number 5 as the wealthiest neighborhoods in Nashville is the Green Hills Lipscomb neighborhood. The home value median is $907,000 here. According to Channelosity, the average monthly rent is $2,400. Now this is right at the Green Hills, David Lipscomb, east side of Hillsborough Road area. David Lipscomb is an elementary school, a high school, and a college. It was developed in the 40s, 50s, 60s, had some areas that have really large lots, as you can see, and some with the smaller lots. It drives over into the Green Hills area when you get right to the shopping side. As I say, this is all on the east side of Hillsborough Road going north toward town. You'll see some older homes. This is one of the first areas that had cluster or small planned unit development. What you're seeing here are the large lots that have been divided, and new construction homes have been built on the much smaller lots. This is what's driving the prices so high, the new construction. Every time that happens, at a lot bigger prices, and that's pulled the median pricing up. So here I've shifted over to their number 4 area called the Woodmont Estates neighborhood. This is barely north side of the Green Hills Mall, running off of Hillsborough Road. It runs perpendicular to Hillsborough Road, and Woodmont Boulevard will take me over to Belmead area, the area just north of Belmead. So it's kind of a cross street that takes you between 2 larger areas. The median price point home here is $978,817. It's an extremely peaceful, quiet, and safe neighborhood that Channelosity calls retiree friendly, where the rent is $2,456 a month, but there is very, very little rental property in any of these areas. Now what you will see is quite a few really large estate homes on an acre, and these areas do not allow a downzoning. So you could not tear down one of these houses if you could afford to and re-subdivide and put 2 homes on one lot. But you're seeing a whole lot of the 60s ranch homes being torn down, as you see here, and a new multi-million-dollar home will be built there. To find a good ranch 60s home to tear down is already going to cost you probably about $1 million. Okay, we've come over further west into what they call the Robin Hill and the Westmead Drive neighborhoods. Now, what's weird about this is Robin Hill is on a neighborhood that we call Westmead, and Westmead Drive is in Westmead. So the whole area is called Westmead Farms. It is on the outskirts of Belmead. It is very close to the Hillwood Country Club, but Hillwood Country Club is on the north side of Davidson Road in the Hillwood Estates. So there's a little bit that's not right about it, but it doesn't matter. Median home price here is $981,295. Now, what you will also see here is the larger lots. This is what's in Westmead and Hillwood, both typically much larger lots, approximately an acre, 50s homes, 60s homes, and we're getting an awful lot of the same buy a ranch home, tear it down, put on a new home, and that's what's really pulling the prices up so high of new homes, new construction prices, huge demand for huge lots that puts you minutes from downtown, Belmead, shopping, all the good things of life. Okay, I got to be real with you. This is definitely one of my favorite areas. This is the number 2 area according to Channelosity of the wealthiest neighborhoods. It is Cherokee Park. Now, I think of this as an entire area, not just Cherokee Park. I think of this as the Richland Central Cherokee area. It is where my very first home was a long, long time ago, but I still love it. It's a walking sidewalk community with huge old trees. It is just on the north side of the Kroger-Belmead area, going in toward town, so it has easy access to everything. But it's an old, just great neighborhood. Median price point now, not when I was there, is $1,034,465. This is the 99th percentile of all homes in Tennessee and 94th percentile of the wealthiest in the U.S. Now, because of its easy access to downtown, because of its neighborhood ease, it's very close to walking for those who happen to be Orthodox Jews, so you can walk to synagogue. It's just got a lot to offer. And what you're finding is so many of these older homes have now been either torn down or completely renovated, added on to, restored, and they're just wonderful. Hey, would you like a sneak peek of a home that's on the market now? It was a tear down. It's now new construction in this central Richland, Whitland area. Got to warn you, it's well above the median price point, but that's what you're going to get. If you're getting a new construction of very high quality in a neighborhood like this, take a look. This is the quality it's going to take. I mean, it's going to take a lot more than $1 million. Coming in at number 1 for the win is the Belmead Links as the number 1 wealthiest neighborhood in Nashville. The median price point home is $1.7 million. Vacancies are less than 4%. And according to Channelosity, they are exceedingly well maintained and hold their value over time. Let's talk about it. Belmead Links runs adjacent to Belmeads. We also used to call it the Belmead Highlands. We as realtors, we name areas, but it's not a place you're going to find on the map named Belmead Links. But what you are going to find is it's easy proximity. It's right there at the Belmead line. You don't have to pay Belmead taxes, but you got the benefits of being right there at Percy Warner Park. What you're going to find is the ability to have half-acre lots, and so smaller lots, but to give you that great location. Most of the homes were 40s, 50s, 60s homes. Most of the homes that you currently see now were not there in the 40s, 50s, and 60s. The majority have been torn down and new construction built on them. But you'll see the occasional little house there, and I promise you, those people get at least 30 to 50 offers in their mailbox every single month to sell. But if you're lucky enough to be here, you will certainly enjoy living here, or at the very least, driving through and admiring. So what do you think? Would you like to live in one of those areas? Could you live in one of those areas? And I'm not talking about pricing, but did they look impressive to you? I promise. We can find a spot for you no matter where that spot is. But let me tell you, I promised I would let you know why I disagree somewhat with many of their choices. Number one, the first one called itself Green Hills Lipscomb. Now, Green Hills goes on the east side and the west side of Hillsborough Road, which becomes 21st Avenue, which becomes Broadway, and that's a whole nother Nashville nuance. But the east side is where David Lipscomb is, the high school, the grade school, the college. It's a wonderful, wonderful area. But the west side of Green Hills, the median price point of homes is far above what this mentions. And, given the fact that they didn't give me any criterion of what they consider wealthy, all I've got to go on is the median price of homes. And the Green Hills west side, rather than the Lipscomb side, is a far higher price point of homes. So that's one reason I think it's a little itchy. Another area is what they call the Robin Hill West Mead. Now, Robin Hill is a street in West Mead. West Mead is also a street in West Mead. So what it gave me was two specific streets, and that just doesn't make any sense. The expensive, wealthy areas are the West Mead area and the Hillwood area. Those run on either side of Davidson Road. If I were to have to say which of the two gave you the wealthiest, it'd be kind of a toss-up, because what you're finding in those areas now is the large lots. It's close to Hillwood Country Club. It's very close to downtown. It's a 5-minute drive from several grocery stores. Stupendous area, both of them. Large lots, both of them. And what we're finding a lot of people doing now is the old ranch houses that was developed in the 50s and 60s, taking down the old ranch houses. Maybe they don't have great bones or 8-foot ceilings, phenomenal lots, phenomenal locations, tearing those down, putting new construction. Now, if you have to pay $800,000 to $1 million for a lot, which is what's happening in some of these Westmead Hillwood streets, depending on if they have great trees and the topography, but you get it. That's going to be a well over $3 million house. So to define the most expensive neighborhood down to 2 streets that aren't even in one of those entire, it's just not right. But it gets you in the right location. I'll give them that. Number 3, an area that they suggested as that Cherokee Park as the one of the top 5. Cherokee Park runs right next to Richland Central, so they abut each other. Truly, if you're driving through these areas, you don't know where one begins and one ends. These neighborhood names is something that's really just occurred of how we describe an area through time. What I do know is this, that the Cherokee Park neighborhood runs right next to the Richland Central neighborhood. That's a historic overlay. And what I do know is that the median price of homes in the Richland Central is more expensive than the Cherokee. So again, how they're defining these areas, because there is no lining on a map that would define it. So I can't fault too much with it. But this brings me to my final point, and why I was saying, you stuck to the last. Here's the most important thing I can possibly tell you. Nuances matter. When you're trying to decide where to price a home or where to purchase a home and what the values are, it takes somebody who's an expert and knows that area. That's what you're getting when you reach out to me or someone from my team. So I suggest you go ahead, do what so many are doing as they've moved into the Middle Tennessee area. And by the way, I know realtors that I can recommend to you all over the state. Do what so many are doing. Reach out to me, call, text, email. We can talk about your specific needs, can help you get pre-approvals. We can help put you in the right place to be able to find the best home for you based on your needs. So, till next week or next time, subscribe, email me, do whatever it takes. See you next week.